Okay, went again. Stuff on sex. All right. Now I'm going to get into more detail about this, but that's basically the upper and lower vertical aspects of the cross of love. And remember, it's all one thing. It's all love. And we're making distinctions but not differences. We're not separating because you can't separate it. And we'll get into that when we get into the human spirit and intentionality in human beings and what they do. Okay, now what's the horizontal cross? Well, the horizontal cross is more in the social than it is in the vertical. It's not about heaven and earth. It's about the realm which we live with other people. It's about our social life. And at the same time, all of this stuff runs over into different things and so on and so forth. So what's there? We have nurturing love. The Greeks called it storge. I'm probably not saying that right. And comradeship, or filial, brotherly and sisterly love. Okay? So there we are. We got all of that. Well, we hug people. When we have children, they crawl up in our laps. Babies need to be held. If they're not held, it screws up their psychology, something awful. As adults, we still do it. You know, if you're in a partnership with someone or a marriage, what happens? You sleep in the same bed, and during the night, you bump up against each other and you hold each other. And you don't screw. You don't get erotic and sensual. You hold each other. You hold each other against the dark of the night. Now that's nurturing love. Nurturing love is everywhere in our society. It took a kick in the teeth that came with the fallen arrows thing that happened. But this is in the 1980s when you had this wave of hysteria about some kind of sexual thing being done to children in situations where they were in the care of strangers who, you know, you sent your child to a daycare center or something like that. And as a consequence of that, as a consequence of this hysteria over that, school teachers and relatives and families found themselves being looked at strangely if they wanted to do nurturing love with their children, the children in their care. As far as school teachers go, you know, teachers know this, school teachers know this, they understand the problem of this, they want to hug their children, they want to touch them, they understand that the child needs this touch. And people in families know that, you know, the child, if you just let the child be the child, they'll climb up on the lap of the uncle and the aunt and the grandmother and the grandfather and the cousins and everybody else. Because they have this instinctive wisdom about what they need, and they just go for it, you know. Let's cuddle, let's be together, let's, you know, touch me. I really like touching. There's nothing sexual about it at all. It is sensual. Young children are very sensual, but they're not sexual. They're not sexual until adolescent hits and the hormones do their thing and all of that happens. And then ba-boom, 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 you know, then you can't hardly keep them, you know, inside the house because they want to get out and they want to be sexual and sensual with their peers. Okay? And these are big deals to understand. We need to understand them from the cultural point of view, and we need to understand them in our own lives. But people like nurturing love, and it's everywhere in our society. And today we don't understand it, you know. There was a time when an uncle could have a child in his lap and nobody looked at him as if it was strange at all, but today we think he's going to be a pervert. And of course that happens. You know? And I don't know that there's a way to cure all the social ills, but people need to think about what they're doing, and they actually need to talk to each other more, you know? But nurturing love is kind of under fire, you could say, in a kind of way, and maybe it's necessary that it be that way so that we bring it out of instinct and into consciousness. Because a lot of stuff that we've done sexually over the years, especially during the age of paternalism, has been done instinctively. It hasn't really been thought about very much. Now we're thinking about it a lot. And of course, individual people needs to think about it. You're a person who loves, wants to love, and wants to be loved. And these are huge drivers in everybody's psychology. And there's all kinds of ways to be loved. It's all love, What do men do with each other? Well, the main thing they do that's a little bit different from women friendships is men don't judge each other. They have all this structure around not judging each other. They just accept each other, And then if necessary, they'll do for each other, And there is a certain maleness aspect of this in 12 Steps, for example. There's different places where you can observe this aspect of acceptance, which is what a man wants. His mother, for good reasons, wanted him to be the best that he could be. But when he goes out in life and finds a partner in life, he doesn't want another mother. And of course, another wise book by Robert Bly, Iron John, is about the whole dynamic of that. And people should read Bly's books who really want to understand certain kinds of things. They should read Bly's books. He's probably got some of the wisest information there. And why is he wise? Is it because he's a poet? Or is he a poet because he's wise? I don't know which end is up. But Iron John and the Sibling Society are important books to read. Now, I wrote a book. Okay? And here it is. 7 dates. Erotica Transcending. And the erotica's got a little star, and down below it says adults only, and then the subtitle is Love, Sexuality, Sensuality, and the New Feminine Mysteries of Eros. Now, there's a introduction, and then there's an essay at the end called The Redemption of Eros. And some of the material I'm giving you today is in those two pieces, those written pieces. And you can read them for free on my website. The other stuff, my attempt to write erotica, which is a way to make an imaginative picture of people in love and how they're doing with it. And of course, when you read the book, yes, there's sex scenes in it, and some people might think they're pornographic, and I can't do anything about, the judgmentalism of anybody. But the fact was that the two people are described who have sex in the book don't just have sex with each other. They do a whole lot of other stuff. Okay? They manifest all four aspects of love. All four major aspects of love. And I'm about out of time here in terms of the way I have to do things, so I'm going to pause and come back and do some more.